Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of October 10th. As always, we'll get started with the Mythic Plus affixes for this week. This week we have Tyrannical, Incorporeal, and Spiteful. Again, that's Tyrannical, Incorporeal, and Spiteful. After a few weeks that were pretty positive push-type weeks, we now have this week, which is a bit more rough, especially for pugs, but even at high keys, whatever. With Spiteful, limits melee. I guess for the best comp, you don't really need melee. Incorporeal, of course, is just annoying, and tyrannical and takes some amount of skill or paying attention. And tyrannical, of course, makes keys take longer. So this is not going to be a great week in a time where people are mostly waiting for the patch. I can't imagine keys being all too popular in this particular week because, there's just better affixes sets to come up in the future. So a lot of people say, why bother doing them when you have a really hard week? Let's go ahead and talk about what else is going on in the game this week. This week, we do have the Eastern Kingdoms Cup continuing on. As of now, you only have this week to do it. You go through all the races. There's a quest by the Roster of Transformation where you can customize your dragons in Valdrakken. You can grab a quest there, head to Eastern Kingdoms. Pretty good. I made it comment on my video that it was very similar to Commodore Cup to me as far as like the quality of the races. Probably like a 7 out of 10 or something like that. Something cool to do if you want to gather up the transmog, or if you want to gather up the dragon riding customizations that you can get from doing that. And as of now, like I said, 1 week. They did extend the Commodore Cup when that was active, so we'll see if they extend it by a week. But as of now, it's just 1 week. We also have Turbulent Timeways continuing, so that's the time walking stuff. Basically, when you do the time walking quest, you get a piece of current heroic raid loot, which is really cool. And so you can grab that if you want, and just take part in the time walking. It makes time walking worth doing, in my opinion. Even for someone who's maybe more focused on having really good gear or whatever, it's at least something for like an alt that doesn't have gear. Piece of heroic raid loot. And it can definitely set you up, especially if you get lucky and get a really good piece. It can set you up nicely there. So you do have that as well. So we have time walking this week and every week while Turbulent Timeways is going on. We also, on top of that, have the Dragonblight Dungeon event. So you could also potentially do some Mythic Zeros on an alt and get a piece of loot that way too. So you could actually get 2 pieces of loot this week just by doing fairly casual content. So very casual friendly. I'd like to see stuff like this more constant in the game, really allowing casual players to maybe farm something else out that still takes some skill or some effort, and at the end of it have some rewards they can get from it. I kind of like that a lot. Later this week we will have the Great Nomergon Run. This is a kind of a mini event. If you don't know, this is just based off of a charity event, which is a really cool thing. If you want to look into it, you can. The running of the gnomes, I think, is the charity. And Blizzard just basically made a holiday commemorating it. I don't think they are, intertwined in any way. Like, I think the charity distances itself from Blizzard just because I don't want to have any connotation in case Blizzard does more stuff to get in trouble or whatever. But they basically it's a good thing. It's a good cause and everything like that. So yeah, you can take part in that if you want. It's pretty cool. It's a bunch of level 1 gnomes running, or you can not take part of it. If you have a lot of money, you could donate to the charity, whatever you want to do. But it is worth pointing out, and it is kind of like a cool thing. Now, other than that, there's not a ton going on in game. We have had some news come out though, some BlizzCon news, some 10.2 PTR news, stuff like that, and nothing like transformational. But they did say that at BlizzCon, World of Warcraft will have the most new information, the most reveals compared to the other games, which makes sense because Diablo sold really well. I think their monthly active users is actually really good too, contrary to popular belief. So what they actually care about is monthly active users. Unfortunately, that's just what big AAA gaming companies care about. And so they sold a lot of games. They have a lot of monthly active users. So you could see Diablo probably having second most time at least, but I wouldn't have been surprised if it had the most time. Overwatch 2 obviously not doing too hot. At least from the public perception. You could say Diablo isn't either, but Overwatch 2 isn't doing well in any way. There's no way to make it seem like it's doing that great. Hearthstone's been on a downward trend. You know, the reality is they really need some new good IP, and World of Warcraft is still kind of carrying it. And you know, with retail being at least liked right now, and Classic being liked a lot right now, you have kind of like two Warcraft things leading the way. And so it's not surprising to hear that, but I am interested, of course, to see exactly what's going to be revealed at BlizzCon. So obviously we're less than a month away now, so I'm very excited about that. Also, it's pretty much confirmed at this point, and we've talked about this multiple times, but at this point the patch is not going to come out. 10.2 is not going to come out before BlizzCon. That would be extremely unlikely. They have done it with 2 weeks notice before, so I guess it could come out on like the 31st. I just think it's extremely unlikely that happens, and it's much more likely it's going to be the 7th or the 14th for the release of that. And that kind of makes sense because the 20th anniversary is there too, the anniversary event. So it kind of makes sense in my opinion, especially the 14th for the actual patch to come out. I haven't been playing a ton on retail. I've been on the PTR a little bit for ret stuff, and I have been playing a little bit of my classic hardcore character, just basically trying to get to 60. I don't want to really raid or anything like that. But yeah, been, you know, actually focusing on some stuff outside of gaming and stuff like that, and which has been really good too. So overall, good stuff. I hopefully have some more videos coming out on some of this 10.2 news and thoughts on all that coming out this week. And yeah, as always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel because that helps me out so much. Other than that, everybody, have a good one.